Hello and welcome. I am INDRAJIT Chaudhuri, a first year student at IIT Kharagpur, and this is my submission for assignment 1 of the DIY lab course Spring 2021-22. The object that I have modeled is a test tube rack, which is a piece of laboratory equipment used to hold upright multiple test tubes at the same time. Common test tubes usually have a diameter anywhere between 10 and 20 mm with a length of 100 to 150 mm. This here is a sped up video of the entire designing process in FreeCAD. As it is being shown, I mostly use the sketcher and part workbenches. First, I drew a sketch containing the 5 circles that would form the holes, 2 of diameter 22 mm, the rest of diameter 18 mm. Then I created 2 more sketches parallel to the XY plane, both of rectangles but with different dimensions. These 2 on extruding perpendicularly became the base and the top portion of the rack. Then I made the 2 side supports, similar process just parallel to the XZ plane this time. Next was the row of vertical cylindrical protrusions over which inverted empty test tubes can be stored. For this, I again extruded a sketch containing 5 circles, diameter 9 mm each. In the exact same way, I then turned the first sketch into a row of cylinders through the top and subsequently cut out the holes by the Boolean cut operation. Now here, using the cylinder tool is also viable, but I found extruding from a sketch to be an easier way to simultaneously get multiple cylinders. In general, several methods can be followed to make something. It's fine as long as we get the desired outcome. Finally, I had to make a row of dents, one below each hole. These are there to prevent the bottom of the test tubes from slipping on the rack after they are put through the holes. I made a row of 5 spheres with appropriate radii, positioned them properly, and then used them to cut out the dents from the base. Then I fused all these parts together with the union operator, but it was still quite crude looking. So for the finishing touches, I filleted all the sharp edges and corners. And while I was at it, I also colored the rack, which actually has no purpose apart from consuming time. Talking about time, what took the longest, of course other than getting the idea itself, was actually getting the dimensions of each component just right so that the final object looked realistic enough. In the end, this is how it looks like from the top, side and front. Here I have opened the .stl file which was exported from FreeCAD. I found this particular orientation to require the least time for printing. I also had to enable supports as the top portion is fully horizontal and cannot be printed without supports. These are the print settings I used. I didn't want to scale down much as that would impact the object's usability in the real world. Here, the larger holes are still 21 mm wide, smaller ones 17.2 mm. In fact, this is also why I had to compromise on the capacity. Normally, such racks can hold 6 to 8 test tubes, but I would exceed the permissible time limit of 8 hours if I went beyond 5 while still maintaining the dimensions. This is the preview where the entire printing process is simulated. Cura estimates the print time to be 8 hours. A big imperfection noticeable here is the amount of material being wasted as support. This can be solved by changing the design a bit or simply making the top part detachable. But the question states that it is preferable to have a single part, so I didn't try separating the top. Here we have the final results. And now one last look at the finished product. That is all from me. This was a great experience indeed. Thank you very much for watching.